tenant is the FBI. Yes, good morning. This is Dr. Tronky. How can I help you?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Henry. I think you spoke with a number of my brokers who've called you over the years on the number of the properties you've had. But I wanted to follow up with you. Were you at all open to selling the center in Northfield?
Which center?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do for a living. I buy and sell. Sure, give me the right offer and I'll sell.
What's
you have a customer?
Yeah, or myself. I own the company, so typically I'm always.
You buy your own real estate?
Yeah.
What kind of real estate you're interested in? I have a whole bunch of stuff.
Mainly it's been multifamily, industrial, retail. I try not to.
I have multifamily available.
Is that the 53 unit plus development down in, or do you have other?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else besides that? I don't do development personally.
Well, that one I can sell you the apartments and I'll do development.
Okay. How much would you sell the apartments for?
10 million.
10 million, and then you'd keep the rest?
Yes, I'd keep the development.
Because you had 53 units there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we could do it as a condo if you like.
I'll double check it because I already have a lot of the information on that. I think you and I spoke about that. What about the center? I think that might be.
The center's for sale too.
What was that address again?
And that's a complex. It's about 80,000 square feet, give or take.
Okay, yeah, that's sort of it's in my wheelhouse.
And then I have another property. It's A quality.
You said this was like A quality. Well, you just built it.
Yeah, my tenant is the FBI. I did have Morgan Stanley. They moved out. They did a.
My partner had Morgan Stanley. Actually, has Morgan Stanley in Red Bank.
It did. Okay, yeah. This had Morgan Stanley, but then Morgan Stanley decided they want to go to the single buildings themselves.
Yeah. I get that.
They don't want to be in complexes. Plus, we have the FBI, a long-term lease. They have the whole second floor.
Okay, got it. They so the bottom floor is vacant now?
No, only part of it. Only 6,700 is vacant, and I was considering moving one of my offices there. So it's about 40,000 altogether, the whole building.
40,000. I'm just taking notes here. Yeah. And the other one was 80,000 feet. The one on.
Yeah, in Northfield.
Okay, and then what?
And I have a complex in Princeton. It's a medical building.
These kind of office buildings are a little tougher for me. What would you do for?
I haven't really looked at the numbers. I'm just telling you what I have.
No,
I'd have to look and get back to you.
Because to me, I think that based on prior conversations we've had in the past, and I've driven by that one. That one might be one of the easier ones for me to transact on, just overall. And then New Road maybe would be second because I think.
You don't like A buildings?
I'm more of a value add guy, similar to yourself. But I don't need it tomorrow. I can sit on things for 5-10 years and be fine with it. But also, I can operate a shopping center much easier than I can an office building. I just don't have the.
Building.
Yeah, I just don't have the connections to fill them up. I have connections to fill up shopping centers and industrial buildings, multifamily. I can do that faster.
But you don't build your own. You just buy.
I have never done well with development. Maybe one day, but not yet. Hey, I was going to say, I know that you've done very well with that. So, if I have any land, I'll make sure I'll let you know because it's definitely not in my wheelhouse. All right, well, look, I'll look in.
I have a lot of. You only in New Jersey? Go out of state also.
Florida probably, PA maybe, New York maybe.
Virginia. I got a great building in Virginia for you.
What do you have in Virginia?
It's a 300,000 industrial.
That I'd be interested in.
Yeah, it's giant. And interesting, what I did was, I own a boat building company. Yeah, so I was going to move my company from New Jersey there because Egg Harbor City was giving me a hard time. They were making me move.
Really?
So I bought this building because I was expanding my company and I needed to move it. And so what I did is I got rid of a lot of tenants. And now the Egg Harbor City is telling me, no, don't move. We don't want you. Change of administration from Republican to Democrat. So now I got this incredible building. It's next to, there's a railroad right next to it. I have one of my tenants who just rents the dirt around me for like $8,000 a month, just so he can be near the railroad spur.
But everything else is vacant?
No, not everything. No, it's about 40% occupied.
40% occupied. Okay.
The thing is, the rents were very low, way below average, so I had no problem with kicking tenants out.
Makes sense.
So now the tenants who want to stay, they have to pay higher rent or they're leaving. But I got rid of about 100-some thousand square feet because I wanted the space for myself. But it's a great, if you have tenants who can rent space like that, it's an incredible building.
Do you have a number that you'd take for that one?
Yeah, cheap. I can do a quick deal, $15 million.
15 million. Okay. What's the address of that one? I'm looking at it now. You said it's 300,000 feet?
Yeah, about that. Maybe 280, 290, something like that. I've never measured it, but it's about that. And there's a couple buildings there that I have to renovate, which I didn't renovate yet. Plus, it can be expanded in size too. Extra land around it.
Got it. Do you have an idea of what like current rent looks like? Like obviously I know it's low, but
last year I did about $800,000 in, I think $800,000 in rent. The NOI was like $650, and it should have been. Well, I got rid of a lot of the tenants.
but okay, so I'm saying it's lower now because of that.
Yeah, well, this year because I got rid of a tenant, so it's going to bring in this year. If I don't get any tenants, which we're negotiating with a bunch of tenants right now, it's going to bring in. If I do nothing, they'll bring in $500,000.
So okay, I'm saying as of today, if I were to buy it today, $500K gross, roughly.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
But I have tenants who want space. Now, the thing is that the average space in that community, this type of space, is renting for about 10 to 12 a square foot triple net for industrial. Like I have a gym in there. I have some other types of stuff in there. I got brewery.
Are they triple net deals?
They pay their utilities and stuff, but they're not triple net. I was going to change them to triple net once I moved in.
Makes sense.
But they haven't gone that way yet.
Got it. Okay. So then, I mean, based on the 500, I'm just wondering what I'm going to be taking home, so I can talk to the bank about it today. So 500 gross, you think net's going to be like what, 200? Because based on the expenses?
No, it's going to be over that. It's going to bring in 400,000 net NOI, easy. Even the way it is now, because the expenses are minimal.
Got it. Yeah, I see the taxes there, like nothing.
Yeah. Expenses is minimal.
Got it.
And the thing is that the property should be bringing in approximately $2.5 million a year NOI.
I see.
That's what it should be bringing in.
Yep.
And that's basing it on $8 a foot triple net, which is cheaper than anybody else.
Got it. So conservatively, I get that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm just trying to get rid of it because I don't need it right now.
No, makes sense. Okay, look, let me talk to a partner of mine. I know he just did a project down there as well, and see what we can do.
I just sold a small piece of property in Berryville, very small, 2 acres, and I got $3.3 million for it. And everything in the buildings were tear down, and this is like 20 some acres.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because you own the parcel next to it as well, right? I guess.
Well, 351 is one big piece. There's an empty land. Part of it I rent.
Got it. Okay, yeah, no, I see. It just chopped into 2 parcels here for some reason on my end.
If you want, I can send you something on it if you want.
Yeah, I'll text you my email.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah,
email. I can send you a thing on that. That's an interesting project just because I have it, and
sure.
I'm not going to be using it. So.
No, that makes sense. All right, let me look into that one. That one's probably one of the more that one and the original. Those two, I think we might be able to do something together.
Okay, very good. Give me offers.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I literally, I sadly just lost my grandfather yesterday, so I'm gonna be with family this next week. So just be patient with me if you can, and then, but next week I'll try to get you something. Okay?
Yeah, and text me your email. Text me your email. I'll send you some info.
All right, you're the best. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Bye. I was looking for Rick, please.
Who is this?
I was looking for Rick Lee, the property owner of a building on.
Okay, who are you?
My name is Henry. I run an investment company locally, and we're going through a 1031 exchange. So I was calling up a few owners like yourself to see if you'd be totally against selling the building.
Okay. All right. No, I'm his business partner.
You're his business partner. Okay. I mean, do you have any thoughts of possibly selling the building? I don't want to waste your time.
I'll message him your number and see if he has any interest.
Okay. I mean, is this the only property?
So are you already involved in a 1031?
Yes.
Okay, so you already sold and you need something to buy.
Correct.
Okay. Well, what's the first leg of your 1031 exchange? How much did you sell for?
The building we only sold for like $2.5 million, just under. But so we got like $1.5 million to play with to spend. But I mean, look, I have plenty of other cash. So if you have anything else, we buy properties up to about $20 million.
Okay. Let me send him your number. What's your name?
Henry. What was your first name?
Henry. Okay.
Terry, nice to meet you. And should I shoot you a text at this number? Does that also make your life easier?
Yeah. Shoot me a text. That'll make it easier.
All right, cool. I'll shoot you a text with my info. You let me know. Thanks. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Good, Henry. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Okay. I want to talk to you about a couple things, and then I think we can put this back together.
Okay, sounds good. What do you got?
You need to be quiet. Okay, and of course, if we put this back together, how long would it take you to close it?
Sub 60 days.
60 days.
Roughly,
okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at mid-March.
Correct.
Okay. You don't think we could do any better? I'd like to try to close it by May 1st, March 1st, but.
I'll say it this way. I'll talk to my partner and see how fast we can do it, but I also don't want to say that I can and don't. You know what I mean? I'll say 60 is covering my ass, saying, like, I know I can probably close sooner, but, like, I also don't want to tell you I'm going to close in 40 days and don't. You know what I mean?
Okay. In the last contract we tried to put together, there was a financing contingent. That's one of the things I'm worried about, because we get 45 days into this and he can't get the financing.
I understand that.
Then the whole thing blows up.
Why don't I speak to my partner about that as well? I also know that we can probably try to figure out a way to get that answered faster versus us waiting till last minute. You know what I mean? Like, it's either like we know we can't get financing whatsoever within the first, 5 days or 10 days of contract versus us waiting around. You know what I mean?
Okay, because the financing part is, I don't know what he's going to rely on for financing, but we're not going to be able to show past tenant performance for the last year.
No, I understand that for sure.
That's what concerns me.
Has there been any payment whatsoever in the last 12 months?
Yeah, last week.
Well, but that's it?
Anything significant that I remember was last week, yes.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, you weren't paid, like, even if it was like $2,000 a week for the last year or anything like that, or anything relatively consistent?
There were some payments last spring, like $2,000 here, $2,000 there, yes.
Got it. Okay, I understand.
Okay, but there's nothing that I remember that says, they paid a full month. The bottom line is, when they stopped paying, they said, look, we have a employee retention credit. We're going to make this all up. And they're still waiting on the employee retention credit. If they go on the IRS or call the IRS, they said it's been approved. So
do they have the documentation signed and all that kind of stuff done already, or no?
The documentation for
the grant.
Employee retention credit?
Yes, and the credit, yes.
No, they haven't showed me any of that. The only documents I have is their contract. They sent me the contract for the preschool education program, and they sent me a copy of the purchase order. But the purchase order is 6 months, and it has to be renewed for the next school year. These are the things I'm worried.
I mean, look, I definitely get that. I mean, look, getting...
I just want to be upfront with you. My other option is to take a loan against the property, which I've arranged, but I haven't signed off on.
I understand.
Okay, but if I could sell the property and not enter into that's a better option for me at this point.
Of course.
I was hoping it would restore itself to health, but in talking to just about anybody, they said, well, it's going to take a year before anybody's going to look at it. You're the only guy that approached me all along the way, said, look, I'll buy it pretty much as is, but we need some assurances that it's going to return to health.
For sure.
Everybody wants to see that it returned to health.
Do you have, is there any documentation that you can send me that you can send me in regards to the clarification of that the state or the town is willing to fund X, Y, and Z? Like, do you have any of that signed off at all?
Yeah, I have the contract that they have, and I have the purchase order that the state issued.
Can you send me both of those?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, cool. So look, let me call my partner and I'll try to get back to you in the next 24 hours.
Okay. You need the contract and the purchase.
Yeah, as much information of documentation that I can show, the better.
Okay. Now that only takes about till August, okay? And then for the next school year, they have to renew, and that'll come about in June. But, the underlying theory is, or presumption, I guess, is that if the township put all this effort into setting them up as the overflow preschool for the township, they're not going to pull it away from
Yeah, I mean, obviously, knock on wood, cross your fingers. But yeah, I agree. I understand. So, okay.
The other thing it's done, and they told me this verbally because I went to visit them last week, is that it's put them on the map again, because now not only are they getting the township paid for kids, but they're getting the younger siblings. They apparently signed on 5 or 6 more kids as a result of just getting this program, because it's one-stop shopping for the parents who want to put in, little Timmy, who was born last week.
I get that. Yeah, I mean, now if they just would pay their rent on time and the correct amount, it would be wonderful.
That would be perfect, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get to, but their stupid contract didn't pay them till, it doesn't pay them till the 15th of each month.
Yeah.
And I want rent on the 1st, and we had discussed how I could address that. If I set my amendment to the contract.
Well, look, it's also, we're also going to find out February 1st, right? Like, if they're really trying to pay you or they're really not trying to pay you. I mean, look, let me talk to my partner about this, about everything we talked about. Send me what you said you could send over, and I'll see if we can try to put something back together, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Bye. Yeah, hey, Gerald?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Gerald. My name is Henry. I was calling you about a building you have on. How you doing?
Doing all right. Yep, that's my business.
Oh, it's your business. That's great. Well, listen, I was giving you a call today because my partner and I own a small investment company in the area, and we were looking to expand the portfolio. And I was just curious if you'd be at all open to possibly selling the property.
Possibly, yeah, I would.
Okay. And if we, let's just say we came to an agreement on price, would you be looking to stay in the property or would you vacate the building?
I'd probably stay.
Okay.
Well,
So,
it depends. I'm an old man now. My son runs the business.
okay. I respect
And,
him.
so I like to know what the building is worth.
Okay, well, look, why don't we go through evaluating the property a little bit, right? Just to clarify, what was the square footage you feel like the building was?
8,000 square, about 10,000. I think because I put an addition on upstairs, I got about total, I think, 10,000 square feet.
So 10,000 square feet, but you said about 8,000 on the first floor. Or does that sound about accurate? And you got about 2,000 worth of mezzanine space?
Yeah,
Okay, and that's all office upstairs, or is that additional storage?
office, all office upstairs.
Gotcha. So 8,000 worth of warehouse, and then we got 2,000 worth of mezzanine office. Fantastic. You said that your son runs the business currently right now at the shop. Just curious, because the way we would structure this is, again, let's just say we agreed to a price. It obviously would also be dependent on how much money in a lease back you would consider paying, right? Because commercial real estate is typically valued by the income of the property. Obviously today, the business probably makes some great money, but the real estate doesn't make anything technically, right? Because you pay yourself.
Right, correct.
Right. So, do you have a rough amount of money you feel like you can pay in rent that would be appropriate where you could still stay in business and be excited about it?
Yeah, I pay myself now
How much do you pay? How much do you pay yourself?
$8,000 a year. A month. A month. I'm sorry, a month.
Yeah, $8,000 a month. That sounds okay. Sounds good. So 8,000. That comes to, let's just see, 96 a year. So if you let's just say you continue to pay 96,000 a year plus taxes and insurance on the property would probably be worth somewhere around 900 grand if you continue to pay that. If you didn't change the rent. So let's just say we signed to the same exact lease rate, you paid $8,000 a year plus like 3% increases a year, property is probably worth around 900. Is that something you feel like you can make sense of?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to clarify, would you prefer that we did, a straight all cash offer, or would you rather do some seller financing so you pay a little bit less in taxes?
I got to think about that, yeah.
Okay. Well, both options are available. So why don't I do this? Why don't I grab your email? What's your email? And this way I can at least send you a written offer, and this way you have something to review. Is this your direct phone number?
Yeah, that's my cell phone.
This is your cell phone, correct? Okay, got it. All right. Well, look, I will. I'm going to take a note here. I'm going to shoot you a text message also to this number so you have my contact. I'll discuss things with my partners, and then I'll draft up a letter of intent so you can at least review it. Could you actually just clarify two last things for me? Number one, how high were the ceilings in the building?
Mezzanine, I got like 8 feet, and downstairs I got like 10 feet.
So the whole building, let's see here, 10 feet. So there's a part of so you went up, right, with your addition? You built an addition up. Sorry, say that again. You cut out.
8 feet in the upstairs and 10 feet in the downstairs.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just saying because you said you built that additional space upstairs, correct?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, and then is there any parking other than what's in front?
Yeah, there's parking in the back.
And there's parking in the back. Got it. Okay, and then getting to the back is just down that side alley?
There's an alley, yep.
Got it.
I own that property, but it's a mutual driveway. It's
An easement.
the other tenant an easement, right?
Got it. Okay, got it. So you and the neighboring property share that. That makes sense. Is there any repairs that you've made to the property in the last 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I put a new roof on
New
a year
roof.
ago.
New roof a year ago? Okay.
And let's see, what else did I do? Yeah, well, minor things like a water heater I've done. That was done a few months ago.
Water heater. Okay. And then just to clarify, in the letter of intent, is a 5-year lease, or let's just say, would you prefer a 5-year, a 3-year with a couple options? Is that something that's okay?
I'd have to think about that.
Okay. I just want to make sure I put something in front of you that you would actually consider, right? But I'm saying, like, is something like a longer term lease what you'd prefer, or would you like just a shorter term lease where you have an option to leave or not? Do you have a preference?
Not really, no.
No, obviously, look, it's all negotiable, right? It's all negotiable. But my point is, like, if I put something in front of you, I just don't want to put something in front of you that you're going to be like, absolutely not. This doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
Why don't we do something like I'll put a 3-year lease on there, but you can do longer, right? Like, I'll put 3 years there with a bunch of options where you can do, like, 2-3-year options. At least this way you can continue to extend and feel comfortable with the business, and we can take it from there. Does that sound fair?
Sounds reasonable, yeah.
Okay, great. So 3 + 3. Okay, I'll draft it up today. I'll tell my assistant to send it over. Again, my name is Henry. I'll shoot you a text message to the cell phone number I have here. And when do you want me to touch base with you again? You'll have the email. You'll have the offer in your inbox probably today or tomorrow.
All right.
When did you want me to touch base with you? Maybe Monday next week?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, Gerald, I appreciate you a lot, and we'll be in touch, okay?